You with Cape Talk.
16 minutes after 1 o'clock, Saskia in for lunch on Cape Talk today. Of course, Pippa will be back on Monday. We start the show always on the couch. And today on the couch, we're putting the spotlight on an organization that has proven that spending time in nature can do so much more than inspire a love for the environment. It can actually change lives. For the past 25 years, Nature Connect has, through environmental education, leadership development, and skills training, connected more than 60,000 young South Africans with opportunities that have opened doors to education, to employment, and conservation careers. In studio, we're joined by two people. One who's helped shape that journey over the past decade, Louise Matschke from Nature Connect, and we're also welcoming one of the organization's success stories, Hannah Moses, who first became involved as a grade 6 learner through the Conservation Leadership Project and is now studying nature conservation at CPUT, while of course giving back and mentoring the next generation of young conservation leaders. Welcome both to Cape Talk.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I think I want to start with you, Louise.
Sure.
25 years is quite a significant milestone. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Looking back, what was Nature Connect originally created to do, and how has the mission actually evolved over the 25 years?
So it actually started as the Zekuflei Environmental Education Program on the banks of Zekuflei in the southern suburbs. It was started as an overnight campsite and a site for education for learners for the immediate community around the False Bay Nature Reserve. So it was trying to get kids back into nature. They're on the doorstep. There's a flay there, there's rondaflay, there's Zekuflei, not realizing that these things are there for them, for the communities to actually utilize. So that was the original goal of then the Zekuflei Environmental Education Program. But over the years we've grown outside of Cape Town. We still do our camps, we still do our day programs.
Right.
We've got our Conservation Leadership Program that Hannah's an alumni of. But then we were like, okay, so now when Hannah finishes, as an example, where does she go? So she goes to CPUT, but not everybody can get in. So then we started our Green Skills Training and Development Programs, where we either do learnerships or internships. So once people graduate from universities or similar institutions, they can come in and do an internship with us, do their will years with us if they are studying nature conservation, as an example. And then afterwards, it's like, okay, then what? But they actually need careers to go into, and that's part of where our conservation work is, and part of our Nature Care Fund.
It's quite a unique approach, and since then, I mean, you're not only here in the Western Cape, you actually have a national footprint.
Yes, so the one program, part of our education programs, called our Sustainable Schools Program, is a national, has a national footprint, and that's trying to work with schools to become more environmentally sustainable, to connect teachers and learners to nature, but also to sustainable practices for good environmental work going forward. So they've taught about over 700 teachers.
Incredible.
And working from all the way up north in Limpopo to the other coast in KZN and here in the Western Cape as well.
Because a country like South Africa, I mean, we've got such huge biodiverse
Absolutely.
landscape, but also lots of very unique in terms of in the world. So lots to protect and to conserve.
Absolutely. So, I mean, the Fynbos is the best example, but we also have just started a project in the Karoo, in Calvinia, also different, completely different space, but also in desperate need of protection of all those critically endangered plants that are up there.
And then, I mean, the numbers are really incredibly impressive. More than 60,000 young people reached. I mean, when we look at, and often the narrative around young people and opportunities for young people is quite a depressing picture. This is very, very much a hopeful one, and one that is actually achieving success. I know it's not just a number. These are actually life-changing moments. What actually stands out for you in that 60,000 young people reached when I say that to you?
So there's really good examples of learners that have come on camps with us. And afterwards, immediately their reaction is, oh, actually nature's a safe space. Because there's always this misconception that it's not safe and we shouldn't be in there. And then they realize how peaceful it is. And I think one of the most impactful things I've read on evaluation forms directly is kids saying, I actually feel safe here. Like I want to stay here because it's safe here.
That is big.
Yeah, that's
That is
huge.
really big in a country like South Africa, where
Absolutely.
safety is probably,
Yes.
particularly in marginalized communities for young people,
Yeah,
it's something that unsafety, if I can put it that way, is something
Yeah.
that they live with constantly.
yeah. And then other more long term where guys have come on camp. So an example is one of our staff members now, Anwar. He came on a camp and when he was in high school, saw this as an actual career opportunity, not just a lack of vibes for the weekend on camp, but to actually make this into a career. And now he is working with a whole lot of those numbers there. And that 60,000 is kids that have been like really immersed in our camp programs in nature, going either to Zeekoevlei, to Rondevlei, or out to our Bokbar site where they really immersed in nature, even though there's urbanization around them.
I know success like this can't be achieved on its own, particularly in this space. You guys, Nature Connect works with schools, communities, businesses, conservation organizations. Why are those partnerships so important if we really want to see impact, protecting both people and planet?
In all honesty, we wouldn't be able to do it if it was just us.
Yeah.
So collaborations and partnerships at all different kinds of stages and levels is essential to expand our reach and to actually do the work that we do. So if it's a partner that can provide funding, brilliant, but then other partnerships provide us with a host site for our interns, as an example. So there's all different kinds of partnerships, from businesses to homeowners to farmers to municipalities. We have a broad spectrum of partnerships and relationships that we have, but really it is to get our work out there.
We are talking to Louise Matschke from Nature Connect. They're celebrating 25 years, and we're also joined in studio by one of the organization's success stories, Hannah Moses. Hannah, take us back to when you first joined the Conservation Leadership Project. That was grade 6, right?
That's, yeah.
What was grade 6 Hannah like before she signed up, and then what made you sign up for the project?
So I've always had a love for nature. Always. My mom would take me out to the beach all the time, to Newlands Forest. It was always my favorite place, and it was always a place where I felt safe and a place where I could just be free and be myself. And I used to be a part of the Eco Club at Strandfontein Primary, and through my teacher, Mr. Peters, he introduced me to this program, the Conservation Leadership Program, and what they do is they help people, children like us from less affluent schools, to get introduced to environmental education, even if it's learning new things like plants and animals, or even just being in nature. And I said, absolutely, I'd love to do this. And when I first got there, I knew that this was the space that I was absolutely going to enjoy for as long as I was able to. I really loved everything. Teamwork, team building skills, communicating with people, and just being surrounded by like-minded children as well that enjoy nature, and just learning new things. It was really an amazing space for me. And I'm so happy that since then I've joined Nature Connect for 7 years.
Incredible.
And it's just been amazing.
And then you decided, okay, this is for me, this is what I want to do with my life, and you're studying at the moment at CPUT.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your studies and what you hope to do when you're done.
So with what I've learned throughout the years with Nature Connect especially is that the career field within the environment is very broad. There's so many new positions, so many niche positions that you can fit into, so many new jobs that are coming up. And because I always loved nature and I always knew that this is something that I really wanted to do, this is a job that I really want to do, Nature Connect really helped me in finding my space and finding what types of conservation I like, whether that's land conservation or conservation by the ocean. And currently I'm studying a diploma in nature conservation at CPUT. So I volunteer part-time because I've since graduated from Nature Connect 7 years now, and I've gone on to now volunteer with them whenever I am able to help out with the children, to give back. And you know, it's really such an amazing experience to then be in that role. The people that I looked up to that taught me, I get to pass on that information to these children. And yeah, so I've been going back and forth between studying and volunteering and helping out.
I mean, that must be quite hard for a young student that's not necessarily from an affluent area or an affluent family. Why is this so important to you? How come you're so passionate about this? To just be in this space with Nature Connect, to be able to give back while you yourself are still trying to carve out a career and a pathway?
I think it's very important because especially children from less affluent areas are not necessarily exposed to environmental issues, climate issues, things like that. They just see nature as a place that they're walking in, and they don't give it much thought, especially with your phones. Most children are concerned with what's happening on their phones, or maybe they see these places on their phones, but they don't really get to experience it. And I think the most important thing about it is that children from less affluent areas get the exposure that they need. They learn something new about themselves and they gain new interests, and they find out about career fields that they never would have known about before. So yeah.
And I often find that sometimes it's the people who are the most marginalized when it comes to climate change, when it comes to biodiversity, and that they bear the brunt. It's those communities that bear the brunt the most.
Yeah.
Louise, one of your biggest focuses has been skills development and creating pathways into employment. I mean, what kinds of opportunities are young people able to access through Nature Connect today? And if somebody's listening and they're not in, grade 6, maybe they've already graduated, maybe they don't even have an environmental or geography degree or qualification, but maybe this is still something that's a passion inside of them. Can they still get involved?
So yes, there's different avenues to get involved. We do source sponsorship for learnerships. So that's for somebody straight out of matric that hasn't got a qualification other than the matric to enter into a year-long qualification with us, but with the work experience as well. But that really is funding dependent. The same with the internships. So if you are a graduate of a program, we do advertise for internships when we have the funding for it. But there's always opportunities to volunteer as well, to volunteer on our education programs like Hannah is doing at the moment. There is different avenues to get involved, but I would just suggest people keep a lookout on our website.
Very amazing website, by the way, natureconnect.earth.
Thank you very much. If they can keep a lookout on there for actual vacancies, and then they can apply for that. But otherwise, our volunteer email address is on there, and they are welcome to volunteer. And I think just get involved in nature wherever they are, and try volunteer wherever they are, because we don't necessarily have a footprint for that across the country. And then we do short skills as well. So it might just be a chainsaw training so that you can become part of another team of an alien clearing crew, as an example, or snake handling. We have different short courses that can just keep you going until you can either enter into a full qualification, a learnership, or an internship.
And after 25 years, Louise, what gives you the greatest hope for the future? What would you like to see Nature Connect achieve over the next 25 years?
I think more stories like Hannah's. And we've got quite a lot already, but it's really great to see quite a number of our staff are graduates of other intern program. But I think for me, even now, if I go onto a site and I'm like, oh, that person was with Nature Connect and that person was with Nature Connect through one of our programs, that fills me with like joy, and like I just keep wanting to do that. And now we're entering into broader, more communities outside of Cape Town, and like just the change that you can see, giving people a sense of self and a sense of voice is something that we just need to continue doing. If it's a teacher at a school in Northwest, or if it's a community member, that's what we want to do. So just expand our reach, do what we're doing, keep doing it well, and just do it like in a broader context across the country.
Fantastic. That's where we have to say our goodbyes. Louise and Hannah, thank you so much for coming in to chat to us. Nature Connect celebrating 25 years. 31 minutes after 1, time for news.
That was awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Saskia. Good
That went very
afternoon.
quickly.
Cape Town.
Oh, it did.
Yes,
Thank you so much.